Republican Senator Bob Corker went on CNN and did an interview with Wolf Blitzer about this tax bill. And they had one of the most awkward back and forths I think I've ever seen from a host and a politician. So let's watch, and then there's a lot to say about this because of what it reveals.
But let me play a clip. This is one more clip I want to play for you. This is what you told CNN in October about President Trump. Listen to this.
The president has great difficulty with the truth on many issues. I think that he's proven himself unable to rise to the occasion. I think at the end of the day, when his term is over, I think the debasing of our nation, the constant non-truth telling, the name calling, the things like, I think the debasement of our nation will be what he'll be remembered most for. And
I know he recently tweeted thanking you for changing your vote on the tax cuts, but you still believe what you told Manu Raju in that clip?
By the way, I didn't see a tweet from the president on my vote. Did you see one? I did not.
Apparently, did he call you? Did he thank you?
No, I called him to let him know I was voting against it 2 Fridays ago, and then I called him on Friday to let him know what I was going to do and why, but I don't remember seeing any tweets.
All right, well, maybe there was no tweet.
I know you're having a
mistake. But I know we thank you.
A great time with this interview.
I know we thanked you for your support, but I'm just wondering if what you said in October, if you still believe that.
Look, you know, I know you're having a great time with this interview, and I'm happy for you in doing so. But look, Wolf, I've said what I've said, and I'm doing what I'm doing. And for me to sort of rehash all of that gives you an opportunity over the next week just to replay and replay and replay. I'm a very direct guy. I say what's on my mind and what I think. And, you know, I don't walk away when I do those things. And I'm ready to move on and deal with these issues. I don't appreciate you know, the front end of this interview. You and I had a conversation about this yesterday on the phone, and you know that all of these things are totally malicious. They're not true, and you know that. And people in the press that are responsible know that. And I'm disappointed that you chose this opportunity to do what you did. I thank you for letting me respond. I know you've had a good time with this interview. And is there anything else that you would like for me to talk with you about?
You know, Senator, I got to tell you, and I've known you for a long time, and I have great respect. I'm not having fun, and I'm not trying to throw out militia. The only thing that you claimed was malicious was the element of that you're voting in favor of it because you're going to get some financial benefit. You explained that. You explained it well. I wanted to give you that opportunity. And when we spoke on the phone yesterday, I told you I want to give you that opportunity to make your case. This is not fun. These are critically important issues. You're a United States Senator, Mr. Chairman. You have enormous responsibility. These tax cuts are going to go forward. They may be great. They may not be great. But it's your responsibility as a U.S. Senator to answer these kinds of questions. And it's certainly not something I'm doing because I want to have fun. I'm doing it because I'm a reporter. I'm a journalist, and I'm asking you questions that are legitimate, fair questions, sir.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you for that, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. I do. Thank you. Thank you,
I appreciate your joining us, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to answer those questions, and that's what I told you yesterday. You're going to have an opportunity. The interview went lengthy, and you've had a full chance to respond, and I'm grateful that you came on the program today.
That clip shows everything that's wrong in Washington with the relationship between politicians and the media. That's it right there. That short clip, about 3 minutes or so long, shows everything that's wrong. So let's break it down. First of all, notice how the whole crux of what's happening is Bob Corker feels entitled to not getting tough questions. That's what that is. That's why he's apoplectic. He's aghast. He's like, what? You're showing a clip of me shitting on President Trump, and now you're doing a juxtaposition of that with me now voting for the main part of Trump's agenda, which is his shitty bill that cuts taxes for the rich and corporations and raises taxes on the middle class and the poor. I can't believe, like, and then, so there's one point where he says, it's not true, it's malicious. What's not true? What's malicious? Wolf didn't say anything. He just showed a literal video of you. That's you. That's you, words coming out of your own mouth. And you are voting for the bill. That's a fact. So what the fuck is, quote, not true and malicious? Not a single thing there is not true and malicious. So what does that show you? Anything that you're going to show that exposes my hypocrisy or how unscrupulous I am, I'm just going to say it's not true. Anything that's against me, I'm just going to, fake news, it's malicious, it's not true. That's the shit Trump does. It's not true, malicious, fake news. No, what is fake news? He's showing a fucking clip of you. What, did they fucking make that? Is that fake? That's a fake clip of you? Did they CGI you in there? Is that what they did? Bob? Fucking liar. That's what you are. It's not true. It's not true. It's malicious. No, it is true. It's not malicious. It's a juxtaposition of what you said about Trump and now the fact that you're voting with them on his main fucking issue. And by the way, if you really want to defend it, defend it. Say, you know what? I don't like Trump personally. I think he's a piece of shit, but I agree with the tax cuts. That's all you have to say, but he couldn't even bring himself to say that. Why? Because he's entitled. I'm entitled to have softballs throw down the center of the plate at me, and then, I respond however the fuck I want. And the media needs to bend to my will. Fuck are you talking about? No, the media should hold you accountable, and they should be aggressive in that respect. So the whole crux of this is Bob Corker feels entitled. How dare you ask me a question that's not 100% on my side? And then, so let's go through some of his other quotes here. I love when he says, quote, I'm a direct guy. I say what's on my mind. I don't walk away. Well, actually, no. What you're proving is you're not a direct guy, because Wolf Blitzer's asking you about, hey, do you still feel the same way about Trump? And you didn't answer. You didn't answer. Hey, do you still feel this way about Trump? Here's a clip of you saying mean things about him. He says, quote, I'm a very direct guy. I say what's on my mind. I don't walk away. Well, apparently that's not true, because you're not answering the fucking question. In fact, you're doing everything but answer it. You're bending over backwards and doing mental gymnastics to try to not answer it. And then again, I don't walk away. As you're fucking walking away and not answering the question. And fucking filibustering and doing word salad to weasel out of answering it. These guys are so full of shit, and they're such spoiled babies with their entitlement. I mean, this guy he's triggered by the microaggression of a fucking clip of himself saying something. God damn it. He needs a safe space, Bob Corker. And then, this is where they really start to pull the mask off of it here. Corker says, quote, we spoke about this yesterday on the phone. Wait, what? And Wolf's like, yes, we did, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to do your propaganda and set the record straight. You spoke about it on the phone. So a reporter and a politician, behind closed doors, they were talking, and Wolf Blitzer says, I want you to give your side of the story. That's why I want you on my show. What? No, your job is to hold him accountable, Wolf. That's what your job... And let me tell you exactly what they're referring to here. Wolf says at one point, quote, you're not voting for financial gain. So in other words, he's saying, I wanted to give you an opportunity to come on the show and set the record straight about how you're not voting for this bill for personal financial gain. But hold on. We just learned from the International Business Times that at the last minute, they slipped a provision into this bill that made it so that pass-through corporations, LLCs, that have real estate investments, they get a giant tax cut. Well, guess what? Bob Corker has over $7 million in real estate, and he's registered as a pass-through LLC, which means he would get a tax cut of $1.1 million every year. He makes over $1 million more every year. And guess what? Bob Corker was against this bill before that provision was slipped in because he said, hey, this adds a lot of money to the deficit, $1.4 trillion. I can't vote to increase the deficit like that. I'm a Republican. I'm a fiscal conservative. And then lo and behold, after they slipped that provision in, all of a sudden, Bob Corker's like, I'm voting yes on this bill. And people are like, wait, you just said about the deficit. It still adds $1.4 trillion to the deficit. What do you mean you're voting for it? That means you don't care about the deficit. And he goes, beep, 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 beep. And then when people pointed out, when David Sirota, the International Business Times, goes, hey, this provision saves you $1.1 million. You have over $7 million in real estate holdings. And that provision was specifically to give a tax cut to that. He goes, new phone, who this? He goes, oh no, this is malicious. How dare you insinuate I'm not an honorable gentleman who's voting for totally pure motives? Because we're not fucking idiots, Bob. We see the record. We see what you're doing. And then he's apoplectic. Not that Wolf Blitzer pushes back against him on that, because he doesn't. In fact, it's the opposite. He's telling him, hey, I'll let you run your mouth and say whatever you want and say how this is not personal financial gain. But he's mad that Wolf Blitzer dared to show a clip of him shitting on Trump because he has no answer. He's like, hey, do you still believe this stuff you said about Trump that was mean? He's like, how dare you? I'm a very direct guy who says what's on my mind, even though I'm not being direct and I'm not saying what's on my mind. And I don't walk away, even though I'm walking away from this interview right now. And we spoke about this yesterday on the phone, and you promised you weren't going to be tough. Every single thing wrong with Washington you just saw right there. That's the incestuous relationship between corporate media and politicians. And even when it's just not even a difficult, it's just like a slightly difficult question because it's a clip of Corker saying, I don't like Trump. And then he's like, hey, do you still not like Trump even though you're voting for his bill? Corker's so entitled to a softball media that even this fucking 12% difficult question, he's like, oh, how dare you insult my integrity? No. You want to know what insulting your integrity would be? If you had a real fucking interview with a real person who gives a shit about the truth, and they said, we know you voted for this bill because of personal financial gain. You were against it because of the deficit. The deficit is still bad, but what changed? The one provision about how you save $1 million a year. So don't bullshit us, Bob. You're corrupt. You're a corporatist. You care about your own bank account. That's the reality of it. Go ahead. I'll let you mumble and bullshit us for about a minute and a half before I interject back again and say you're lying. You're lying. This is why you're voting for this bill. But no. Mealy mouth Wolf Blitzer with his, Bob, I hope you come back on this show. All I care about is access. I wanted to give you an opportunity to lie and do propaganda and say that you're not doing this for personal financial gain. Here's a clip of you saying something. Can you please respond to this? Oh, you don't want to respond to it and you think it's rude of me to show a clip of you saying something? Oh, I'm so sorry, Bob. Fuck both of you. You're both pathetic. Corporate media is a joke. Bob Corker's a joke. A corrupt corporatist joke at that. And this is why you need to support real media, by the way.